Going for boost. Well, I think going for boost, if you're a boost merchant, like someone like AJ or someone, you go for boost.
100% of the time.
Yes.
Always, every second of every game. Ball's going in your net, don't worry about it. Go get the boost and make sure you've got the full 100 to celebrate with the other team.
Oh God. Never. Yeah, never. Always go for full.
Yeah.
Number one rule of Rocket League.
Welcome to the Boost Over Ball podcast, where three aggressively average Rocket League players talk about everything RLCS with your hosts, Ace, Code Red Jack, Kyle Cube, and AJ Binky. So, if you've ever wondered when the best time to go for Boost Over Ball is, you've come to the right place.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Boost Over Ball podcast. To listeners new and old, thank you so much for tuning in for another episode. We have a great show for you today to recap this absolutely crazy NA regional here. I'm here today with AJ.
Yeah, howdy.
And I think this is gonna be a good one. It certainly was something that none of us really expected in terms of some of the results that we saw.
Speak for yourself here. I expected it.
I think me and you both predicted the winner, but other than that, I think we all pretty much failed.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty nuts.
Yeah, but
yeah.
But without further ado, I think we could just jump right into the recap of the results.
The North American Spring Cup from the Rocket League Championship Series. Oh, man. This is incredible. All right, so I'm going to go over the round one games. Here we go. Complexity versus Axel. Complexity takes it 3-1. Version 1 sweeps Shopify Rebellion. G2 sweeps Koi. Optic sweeps M80. FaZe sweeps 0-2-1. Furia gets 3-1 over Dignitas. Gen G sweeps Hey Bro. And Space Station beats NRG 3-2. Any surprises here for you?
NRG taking 2 games off of Space Station. Am I allowed to say that?
Yep.
I mean, that's really
I feel
all
like
I
we're going to be saying NRG a lot.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll talk about them more in a little bit, but, good showing for them.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Other than that, was there any real shockers in there? I feel like there wasn't. I feel like it was pretty much just NRG Space Station.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was really the biggest one. I mean, maybe Team Axel taking a game off Complexity, but other than that, like, nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
Then moving down to lowers, we have Shopify taking out Team Axel 3-2. We have Koi taking out M80 3-2. We have Dignitas taking out 0-1 3-1, and we have NRG sweeping Hey Bro. Then moving on to the upper bracket quarterfinals, we have Version 1 beating Complexity 3-1. We have Optic taking down G2 in Game 5. We have Furia taking down FaZe Clan in Game 5. We have Space Station taking down Gen G 3-1. Does anything stick out to you from that set of matches?
Let's start with lower bracket round 1. So, Axel and Shopify, I don't know if it's like super surprising, but Axel got 2 games on Shopify, which, I feel like that's no easy feat.
Yeah.
Same with Koi and M80. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's probably a better matchup than I expected.
I mean,
other than that, I feel like that was about it.
Atomic and I talked about it in our Bubble Blast, but so Team Axel, I don't know if you saw their run through the closed qualifier.
He's, like, associated with them, right?
Yeah, but so they ended up reverse sweeping the Swiss, right? So they lost 2, then they won 3 straight. But then
that's awesome.
Their 3rd round and 4th round games, they reversed swept the other team.
Oh my god.
And then
so it was just completely full of reverse sweeps for them.
And then awesome. In the 5th round, they just saved being reverse swept by winning Game 5.
Yeah, I think that's the one I saw.
And there was like
yeah, that's
7-minute overtimes
crazy.
and like just a truly tremendous run to even make the tournament. So, taking a
It's
game
so
off
cool.
Complexity, taking 2 off Shopify Rebellion, I think that's
Yeah,
a
that's
positive
pretty
trend
impressive.
for them.
For sure. That's exciting.
But from those upper bracket quarters, does anything stick out from you or for
Oh
you?
yeah. Oh yeah. Furia taking down FaZe? What's up with that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I saw that series and it really kind of just it looked like one of those series where it just wasn't going FaZe's way. They couldn't seem to get the time and space that they like to use to set up their mechanical plays. But I mean, really, just hats off to Furia. I think they played a really good series.
That's super exciting. I love that. And then, obviously, the other one I feel like I should bring up is Gen G Space Station. I feel like this should go in favor of Gen G, but Space Station has kind of gone wild lately, so maybe not. How do you feel about that matchup?
I don't know. That one's a tough one. So, like, Space
Yeah.
Station is one of the teams, like, I thought after the last regional, I was like, okay, I'm really interested to see, like, is this what we should expect from them? Or is this kind of, like, did they just have themselves a weekend? But the more you kind of watch them play, the more I seem to think, at least, that they're kind of a high floor, low ceiling team. Right? So, like, even if they're not, like, playing incredibly, like, they're still a really good team. They're all really solid players. They all do what they need to do. And, they all have the ability to score goals. But they don't have, like, the absolute pop-off potential as, like, someone like a FaZe or a V1, right? V1 has, like, Beast Mode and Daniel, where FaZe has, First Killer. So I think that it's going to be interesting to see them continue their run, because I do think that their floor is so high.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good place to be for a team too. I mean, obviously you want the high ceiling as well, but having a high floor is obviously makes you more consistent, which is, I feel like it's a real good place to be.
Yeah.
And they're looking good.
They are indeed. Then, moving into the lower bracket, round 2, we have Shopify taking out Gen G in Game 5. We have FaZe Clan sweeping Koi. We have G2 taking down Dignitas in Game 5. And we have NRG. Yep, NRG, the general NRG, taking out Complexity 3-2.
Yeah. NRG, huh?
Yeah. And then I'll do lower bracket round 3 first, and then we'll talk about that this block.
Okay.
But we got FaZe Clan sweeping Shopify, and NRG, again, the general NRG, right? Like, still Garrett, Justin, and Squishy taking out G2 and El Clasico 3-2.
Yeah. So, surprises here?
Well, I mean, so first off, Gen G losing to Shopify. I mean, Shopify's a good team.
Yeah.
Nolly talked about it on the Chalked cast, how he thought Shopify, like, were due for some better results because they're just a really good team. And he jinxed it because they got taken out by Shopify. All 1-goal games except for Game 4. But, like, well played by Shopify to be able to get that result. But, unfortunately, they've run into FaZe Clan and that stopped. But
yeah,
I
put a kibosh to that real quick.
I'm really just trying to put off, like, talking about anything but NRG, but I think now's the time we got to talk about them.
Dignitas and G2. Let's talk about that quick. How do you feel about that?
I think that
Dignitas got 2 on G2. That's pretty impressive.
I mean, one of them's a 6-minute overtime game that Dignitas takes, so, like, good for them for being able to fight off the onslaught to take that match. But I mean, I still am of the opinion that Dignitas lucked their way into a major to a major berth in the winter. I think that G2's the better team, and I think the better team won in this series. It is a bit surprising that Dignitas got 2 games off of them, but G2 still take care of business.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Energy.
Man,
Energy.
I mean, I was a little bit surprised by the V1 Complexity match to drop Complexity to lowers, But then, as the tournament went on, I'm like, oh no.
I was too. I was holding off on version 1 though.
And V1 is them. So I dropped them down. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, it's still complexity, right? They're still the reigning regional champions. Like,
Yep.
it's NRG as much as we, everyone knows NRG
So-
and it's the meme, but
It, like, strictly looking at results here, like not talking about like in game how everybody looked and whatnot. Like, this seems like a complexity off tournament, right?
yeah, I would think so.
Right. But then you look at how NRG did through this tournament and realize they're kind of just they're making that lower bracket run. Like, they're doing work on all these super great teams after how many god awful results they've had lately.
Yeah.
Okay. God awful results in terms of how they used to do.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're former world champions.
Yeah. That blows my mind. I don't even know what to say about it.
Yeah. So, I mean, my big thing is it a complexity off day or have NRG turned the corner? I mean, like, if you look at their run, right, they lose to Space Station, who makes top 3, right? And that went to a
Right.
game. That went to a game 5, and it was, a 2-goal game in game 5. It was like they didn't get stomped or anything like that. They take out Complexity, who reigning regional champion, winter major participant. They take out G2, winter major participant. They take out Furia, who had themselves a good tournament, taking out FaZe, taking 2 games off of Space Station. They certainly didn't have the winter split that they were looking for, but they seem to be trending in the right direction. And then, NRG comes up against FaZe Clan and in the lower bracket semis, and they take a game off of them. Right? Like, that's not something, like, Optic couldn't do it, Shopify couldn't do it, Koi couldn't do it.
Yeah. Things are looking good for NRG. I still call for changes to be made for NRG. Sticking to my guns here. But they're looking good.
I mean, I'm
Kind of weird.
yeah, I agree with you on that one. I originally thought it was going to be, like, just keep Justin if he's willing to stay and, rebuild the roster around him. But,
Right.
maybe that's not what you do anymore. Maybe you only need to make one move.
What? I don't even know. Like, what do you think made the difference for NRG? Like, changing coaching? Like,
I think that could have helped. I mean, before this season, Garrett had kind of said, that they really, when they won their world championship, they didn't really have, like, a strategy. They kind of just went out and played. Like, there wasn't, like, a team dynamic aspect to it or, like, a game plan
Right,
against certain
'cause-
teams. They were just that good.
like that shit worked for them. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so, like, this season, they've really been putting in the time, trying to grind, like, team plays and, like, more team-based skills instead of individual skills. And, I mean, it seems like, their results have been not great. They've been at all the events, but, they're still in major contention. They're still in Worlds contention, technically. So, none of those players have missed a Worlds that they've been eligible to play in. So you would think that they got that extra motivation to do it, and they did not have an easy run in lowers to get a top 4 finish. But
No, not in the least bit.
yeah, this is like the first time all year that we've seen a day 3 NRG.
Yeah.
So I think it's good for the sport.
Which
I think
is
it's certainly good for them.
Absolutely insane. Oh yeah, totally. Like, this result has got to be a confidence booster, if nothing else, for them. Like, they did work.
Yeah, and it kind of muddies the waters a little bit in NA, and we'll talk about that more after we review our predictions when we go over rankings. But I mean, it just makes it a little bit more complicated for those teams that are looking to make the major.
Yes, it does. Holy.
But you want
All
to
right.
you want to run
let's
down?
talk about semis. Yeah,
Yep.
upper bracket semifinals.
Yep.
So we got version 1 sweeping Optic Gaming and Space Station beating Furia 4-2.
You want to do lower bracket quarters too?
Let's. Yeah, I can do lower bracket quarters. So, and then Optic drops down, plays FaZe, and gets swept by FaZe 4-0. And then Furia drops down, plays NRG, and NRG takes it 4-2.
So like, what a horrendous day for Optic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because those are both Saturday matches, right? So like they made it through Friday. They looked good. They got some big wins over G2, and they swept M80. You know, looked good. Day 2 rolls around. They don't even take a game.
It feels like that's exactly what it feels like pre-Daniel version 1. Like, it always felt like a day 2 shit the bed situation for them. And it sucks.
Yeah,
But
I mean, you can't not show up to a match and expect to do anything other than lose, especially in the upper brackets, especially against FaZe in version 1. So you think maybe they're a little bit unlucky to hit FaZe in the lower bracket quarters, but you know, hey, that's part of it. You gotta show up and play.
Yeah. Sure it's unlucky, but like you gotta prepare for that. Like, this is this top 8 here? Top 6?
Top 8, yeah.
Top 8? Yeah. So like top 8 in NA. Like, you gotta come ready to be swinging, you know?
I would agree.
Like, there's not gonna be any easy matches.
No.
At this point.
But
so yes, I feel like they did get a little unlucky with it, but that's no excuse. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, if you're gonna make a top 8, you need to beat one of the top 8 teams to get top 4. You know, however way you look at it, that's how it is, right? They're all good teams. You gotta beat somebody. You gotta at least take a game off of people.
You'd hope so.
Jeez. Yeah, but they just did not look good through and through.
No.
Then moving on to the upper bracket finals, we have version 1 taking down Space Station 4-1. The lower bracket semifinals, we have FaZe Clan ending NRG's sweetheart run through the lower bracket. Top 4 for NRG. Great job from them. And then we got FaZe moving into the lower bracket final to beat Space Station 4-1. And that brings us to a version 1 FaZe Clan grand final, with version 1 beating FaZe 4-1.
Okay. Space Station. Space Station looked good.
I thought so too.
Like, I'm impressed by their top 3 situation here. That's impressive.
Hey.
I hope they keep doing good. If nothing else, but to prove Ace wrong. LJ's correct.
I think so too. I mean, that's 4th in the open and 3rd in the cup, right? So if they make 2nd next time, then you know that they're just working their way up.
Yeah.
But I mean,
exactly.
I think that they have a play style that's going to give a lot of teams trouble. They have very good defense. They're very rotationally sound, and they can all, you know, score goals. So they certainly looked fantastic. I think FaZe looked good against NRG. Certainly looked good against Space Station. But version 1 was just built different this regional.
Version 1.
They looked fantastic.
The team we all knew would be absolutely insane at some point or another went absolutely insano style this tournament. They lost 3 games through this whole tournament. Is that not the craziest thing ever?
I mean, that's like reminiscent of like some BDS or like Team Falcons runs through regionals. I mean, that's like true and utter dominance, right? So I mean, you take out the former regional winner Complexity, you take out Optic, who's been top 4 since the last regional, since the Invitational in the winter. You know, take out Space Station, who's been there this regional. You take out FaZe, all pretty handily. Like, it never really looked like it was in doubt.
No. They took care of business, is what happened.
Certainly they did.
Johnny Boy, shout out to Johnny Boy here. He released a very good video on uh, what he thought, like why he thought version 1 was uh, so dominant. But I want to hear what you think about it. First of all, did you watch Johnny Boy's video?
I did not see that one, no.
Okay. Yep. Let's hear your thoughts then.
So I mean, with a lot of players, like I'll use phase for example, right? So like if you're the way that they're set up, you have first killer is the main threat, the initiator, the finisher. Like you need someone to go out and score a goal. It's first killer. Like he's the person you need to worry about, for the most part. I mean, Sipical is a fantastic player, and so is Mist. But like from a pop off potential, it's first killer. For version 1, it's beast mode. Like it's been beast mode. It's it will continue to be beast mode. Oh, but now also they also have Daniel, who was that guy for Space Station, and now is also still that guy for version 1. So you can try and key in on someone defensively, but then somebody else will beat you, right? Oh, and also Com, has deleted you from the field. Oh, and also now Com is flip reset on you. So like, everybody's mechanical, everybody can attack. If, you double commit at all on defense, you're screwed because you've sent 2 people to, prevent beast mode from flip resetting on you. Well, E dunked you and Com scored. And or, somebody's dead, you got nobody back, and it's a free goal. I mean, they're just the pop-off potential from all 3 of them is incredible, especially beast mode and Daniel. But, just the way that they create space through demos, the aggressiveness, the really tight offensive rotations, it's truly awesome to watch.
Yeah, it was amazing. So it seems like they just weren't comfortable together yet in the last one. And in this one, it seemed like they all figured out their own play style and like went back to basically just feeling comfortable in the game, like doing their own thing. Like in Johnny Boy's video, it goes, he shows a replay of a game. I want to say it was against FaZe, and it was specifically from Com's perspective, and he was in their half for so long. It was ridiculous. Like anytime, like he would just leave the ball and just go hang out in their half and just bully the absolute hell out of them. It was awesome, and it felt like he didn't do that in the previous tournament. So like it feels like he and his teammates are getting all comfortable with each other and like being able to trust each other and knowing what they're gonna do before they do it.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. I was going to ask. So, how much of it is trust, right? So, playing with beast mode, Com's played with beast mode, before, right? The whole season, and Daniel is a new addition. Daniel is a fantastic defender. We've seen it time and time again. How much trust does there have to be for him to leave the ball, leave his teammates, and go for harass, go for bumps, go like to create space? How much of that do you think the trust will just continue to build, and it's possible they could look even better next regional?
Do you think they will?
I mean, it's going to be hard to look better than they did this time, but I don't really see anything changing.
I agree. Yeah, I feel like it feels like it only gets better, but it's dang near impossible to get better than this. Dropping 3 games.
Yeah, the perfect run would be like really the only thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be insane.
Yeah. But I think that's as good a spot as any to jump into our biggest losers and our biggest winners of the weekend. In my opinion, we'll start out in the losers. For me, the first one would be Complexity. After winning their first regional as a team, being at the absolute pinnacle of their performance so far in North America, going out in lower bracket round 2 to NRG after winning a regional. Like, I really just think that's a big fall off for them. Hopefully they can, for their sake, that they can regain moving into the Invitational, but that is certainly not where they saw themselves, at the beginning of the weekend. The second one being Gen G, going out in lower bracket round 2 again to Shopify, like same as Complexity. They managed to make it, a 5-game series against Shopify, but they didn't look particular. They didn't play Space Station particularly close. I think Shopify looked the better team. I think that they really need to step their game up if they want to make the major, which is something that we never thought we'd say after their utter dominance in the first split and a half. And then the last one for me would be G2. They are entrenched in a battle for making the major, making Worlds. I think that they, losing El Clasico to NRG, it's like the first time that they've lost in the last 6 meetings against NRG. That's something that they really need to try and do better at. And, I think that they would expect more of themselves. What do you think about that? Anybody else that you think I missed in losers, or do you kind of agree with what I said?
Yeah, I feel like you didn't miss anything. Yeah, I feel like you
Okay.
hit all the things that needed to be hit.
And then I'll jump on to winners. I'm going to exclude version 1 from this list. They would have made the list, but I think we kind of all expected them to click at some point. So, I don't know that necessarily I would consider them the biggest winners, even though they won the event. But first off, I'm going to start with SSG. That's, a top 4 and a top 3 for SSG after losing what is widely considered to be one of the best players in North America, and Daniel. I think that shows, that they made maybe the right decision for them long term. I think that their team performed fantastically, beating some pretty notable teams along the way. Second being Furia, making upper bracket semifinals and dropping to NRG, but a top 8 finish is fantastic for Furia. I think that they had a down winter split, and they're finally starting to look like the Furia that we've come to expect now after the addition of Lost. And last but certainly not least, NRG. What a run from NRG, making day 3, getting a top 4. I certainly can't say that I saw that coming at the beginning of the weekend. They had a very, very difficult road to the lower bracket semifinals through their lower bracket run, but I can't say enough positive things about that, the team, the mental, and the run.
Yeah, that NRG run is crazy. I feel like nobody saw that coming.
The Twitch chat was picking NRG, I think purely for the memes, and then they started to win, and people were like,
yeah.
oh, wait a minute.
Yeah. Is this happening?
Yeah. So, it's certainly exciting for a lot of people to see that, and we will wait with bated breath to see what they can pull off in the Invitational.
Yep. Looking forward to it. All right. Let's talk about what we had down for predictions for this tournament. Only top 4 Ace had was version 1. And I think we all had version 1 in our top 4, so we all got that point.
Yeah.
And he had Gen G winning, which a
Did
little
not
bit
happen.
off there.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I had version 1 FaZe in top 4, and version 1 winning. So I don't know. I guess I get 3 points or whatever
Yep.
if we're scoring it.
Yep.
And you had, where's your top 4? There it is. You had version 1 in top 4 and version 1 winning.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So you were the overall
I'm
prediction
winner.
winner. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Because you had
That's how we do.
2 top 4 in the winner, and I had 1 top 4 in the winner, and Ace had 1 top 4.
See, it's
So-
predictions are so hard.
I know. We've definitely done worse, but we've also done a little bit better. But
yeah.
still, getting the winner is no small feat. So
Yeah, that's pretty good. Not too bad at all. And NA rankings, this is something.
it certainly
So-
is.
Complexity and version 1 are tied first with 34. Space Station with 33, Optic with 31, FaZe with 30, Gen G with 30. Furia 26, G2 24, Energy 23, Shopify 22, and then it starts dropping down low. But the top 10 are all really close.
As of right now, Gen G do not sit in a major spot for the spring
Oh, that's
major.
so wild.
And Space Station are third ahead of FaZe Clan. I can't say I saw either of those things happening.
That's so crazy.
But I mean, there's 8 points that separate 10th from 5th. There's everything to play for right now. Everything.
Yeah, that is absolutely wild.
Yeah. But that being said, we will leave NA behind and travel around the world to bring you guys up to date on some of the other events that happened throughout RLCS, starting with OCE. We have the Pioneers taking down Ground Zero coming from the upper bracket. They sweep Ground Zero. And the top 4 over there was Ground Zero, Pioneers, Power, and Merge Esports.
Merge. I don't believe I've heard of them.
Yeah, I can't say that I have either. I think, quite frankly, it's just the team that avoided Ground Zero, Pioneers, and Power the longest.
True.
Yeah.
All right, and for Mina, Falcons take down Twisted Minds from uppers 4-1. And the top 4 of this are Rule 1, Falcons, Twisted Minds, and Infinity. Any shockers there for you?
I mean, it's interesting to me to see Twisted Minds in the final over Rule 1. They beat Rule 1 to get to the finals, to get to the grand final. So maybe
That is pretty impressive.
Maybe it's a 3-team region now instead of 2. And with only 2 World Championship spots, that could get spicy down the stretch.
Is it a 3-team region or is it a 1-team region?
I mean, Rule 1 I think are ahead right now.
Are they? Oh, wow. Okay. All right. I guess it's a 3-team region.
Rule 1 are in first place currently in the region.
Okay, I stand
Falcons
corrected.
are 3 points behind them, and Twisted Minds are 1 point behind them.
Wow. Okay, that's way closer than I expected.
Yeah, the full rankings still have Falcons 24 points ahead of Rule 1, but the first and second place team qualify for the World Championship wildcard.
Right. Okay.
But with that being said, we will move forward into our EU Spring Cup preview. Now that the teams are all set, what is one team that you think has something to prove heading into this event?
I'm gonna say Vitality.
Okay,
Do it again.
fair. Was it a fluke? Are they able to
Yeah.
to repeat? Okay.
Yeah.
For me, it's BDS for that same reason. A good showing from them in the open. Can you do it again? Are you back to being BDS, or was it just kind of a lucky run?
Yeah.
And then, what team needs to perform more than anyone else?
I need to take a look at this. Give me some time. Let's hear your thoughts on it first while I pull it up.
This one I'm a little bit torn. I think it's either going to be G1 or Moist for me. I think that G1 needs a good result to keep themselves in contention for the major. I think some of the other teams are starting to pull away. And for Moist, bringing in Cash, I think is a big win for them. I think that he was tweeting the other day that he's never grinded for a regional harder than he's grinded for this one. So hopefully we can see a good Moist showing.
I was gonna say Moist before I looked things up, but that's just me hoping they do well. I'm a Moist fanboy.
Kind of hard not to be.
I can't
such a
deny
great
that.
name.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And such a good org.
Okay. I mean,
looking at this bracket, I feel like Moist needs to do very well here. So I'm gonna say Moist too.
Okay. And then we'll go on to everyone's favorite. Which team do you think has too much hype, and which team do you think has not enough hype?
Oh man.
These ones are so hard.
I know. Okay. Too much hype. I want to. Okay, I'll say K Corp. Too much hype for K Corp.
Okay.
No reason in particular, but yeah, no reason in particular, really.
I mean, I actually agree with you on that one. I think that, they're very much the far and away favorites in the region. Everyone, it's kind of a foregone conclusion. Hey, it's KC's region to lose, but they
You
came
still
in.
think they're favored over Vitality?
I don't. That's where I'm going. That's you're ahead of me a little bit.
Okay.
Right? So like they're number 1 in the region right now. They're based on like the overall rankings, not necessarily the spring rankings, right? But they won the
Yeah.
they won the major. They're coming off of winning pretty much everything that they can, and Vitality kind of stomped them in the last regional.
Yeah.
So people, it's still KC, it's still French Rocket League, it's still the Blue Wall, everything like that. But they need to show up. They need to perform. They need to maybe try and prove that it's still their region, or they may get passed. And then
God, I hope they get passed.
yeah, and then I feel like, similarly speaking, I don't think people are talking about BDS enough. I think that they had a fantastic result in the last split. I think that they will only get better as they get more comfortable playing with Rise. I think that that's a roster that can do some damage, and I don't know that. I think you could be poised to see an upper bracket quarterfinals match of Vitality and BDS, and like it's very possible that Vitality doesn't make it out of that. But similarly,
Wait, say that again?
It's possible that you could see a Vitality Team BDS upper bracket quarterfinals.
Okay. Yep.
And it's possible that Vitality don't make it out of that if BDS play how they can, in my opinion.
I think Vitality takes that down pretty handily, though.
I would think so too, but I think if you're not careful, then
Yeah, for sure.
that could be something to watch. But
We need to do whole bracket predictions again.
oh dear God.
Yeah. we need to do whole bracket predictions and then post them somewhere
Okay.
for everybody to see, so we can show how wrong we are.
We can start posting them on Instagram and Twitter. So that might be the might be the way to go.
Yeah. Let's do
But
it.
with that, speaking of predictions, why don't we do our top 4 and our winner predictions, and I can go first
All
if you
right.
want.
No, I'll go first.
Okay.
Let me pull this up on a second, real quick. Oh, you already got yours in there. Yeah, go ahead then.
Okay. My top 4, I have Team Vitality. I have Carmine Corp. I have Team Liquid, and I have Moist Esports. And I have my winner this time being Team Liquid. A little bit different with picking a Team Liquid over
Interesting.
Vitality or Carmine Corp, but I think
Very interesting.
yeah, I think it could be an interesting time when Carmine Corp and Vitality could play in upper brackets. But I think I still believe in Liquid. I still believe in Xpair, their coach. I think that they're a great team. I think that they benefit from not having any roster changes. They looked really good in the last regional and in the major, so I'm excited to see what they can do, and I still believe in them.
I have almost the same prediction as you, but I'm leaving Moist out this time.
Okay.
Sorry, Charlie, I have to do it. I'm doing Vitality, K Corp, Liquid, BDS, top 4. And I think Vitality do take it.
Okay, that's fair. So,
It feels like those 4 are the dominant teams, but everybody knows that's not exactly how Rocket League works.
yeah, for sure. So, only one way to find out how our predictions fare, and that's by listening to our show next week so we can explain them to you, or keeping track at home so you can, talk to us on Twitter about how wrong we were. But with that being said, we would like to thank you guys so much for listening. Remember, as always, to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, join our Discord, rate us wherever you get your podcasts. All of the links to those socials and more can be found on our website at www.boostoverball.com. And from everyone's favorite Grand Plats, remember to always choose Boost over Ball.
Thank you for listening to the Boost Over Ball podcast. Make sure to check out our website, www.boostoverball.com, and rate us wherever you listen to podcasts.